Hi there, my name is Ron Rogers, and I'm going to tell you about one of my flights out to Honolulu. Now, I was a captain for 25 years, which was much longer than any one person deserves out of a 36-year career. But back then, I actually now you could have almost a whole career as captain. We're expanding so much, and with the new hires and stuff, you actually have captains that would be on probation, and they have this big procedure of that. Very interesting. I mean, I went to the third seat of a 737 as an engineer. Yeah, I digress. But anyway, okay. Last 13 years I spent on the 777. I flew Hawaii a lot. It was a lot of fun. And you always know that, things can be different. A lot of flights go very routinely, just nothing out of the ordinary. You have a great time. But every once in a while, something a little strange can happen. And of course, I come in to dispatch, and that's me right down there, handsome gray-haired, suntanned individual. And I got a note to contact dispatch. Well, that's always an interesting little thing. So, okay, I give them a call, and they said, hey, there's this little issue. There was a earthquake in Japan, and there's this worry that there is a tsunami racing across the Pacific Ocean, and it's gonna hit Honolulu about the time of your planned arrival. And I go, well, that doesn't sound very good. And he says, yeah. Now, the runway they're actually worried about is the one there in yellow, which is the outboard runway, because this is all built on landfill. And it's only about 3 feet above sea level, and of course tsunamis can be a lot higher than that. Normally we land on 8 left there with the green arrow. We come in here, and 8 right with the yellow arrow is departure. So they're worried about the departure runway, but they were worried about just the water coming across Honolulu and causing all sorts of problems, throwing debris up on the runway, and it would not be a good thing. And they were not sure if this tsunami was going to develop or not, but this thing could be racing across the Pacific. Now, here's another picture of 8 right there, and you notice that those squares don't naturally occur out in the ocean there next to Hawaii there. That is landfill. And this is our normal departure runway. And the cool thing about this is, so we're going right towards downtown. Well, that's kind of cool. Yeah, but you make a turn immediately after takeoff, and you go kind of by downtown. And if you've been to Honolulu, Oahu, you've seen that, the airliners going by and stuff. Well, here's the deal. We're taking off out of Chicago, the green arrow there, and this is a typical planning chart that we get. That just gives you some basic information on, how far you are out from alternates and what the alternates are and stuff like that. And this was 180 minutes, engines turning or people swimming, ETOPS. But where that red arrow is, well, where the yellow arrow is Honolulu there. Where the red arrow is the point from where we cross over roughly San Francisco going to Honolulu, that we have a point of equal time based on winds and that. And this is very important on these flights because the west coast to Hawaii is the longest over water route. Basically, I'm sure you could put something together, find someone a little bit longer, but it's basically the longest over water route. And it's kind of interesting. From the west coast to Hawaii, there is not one speck of land. Now you go Hawaii on in towards Australia or Japan, there's islands all over the place, and of course a lot of them are very famous from World War II. But in this stretch, there's nothing. So you have this point of equal time. Now, if something goes wrong before you get to the red arrow, you turn back to San Francisco. If everything's fine, or if you've passed the red arrow, now you're committed to land at Honolulu because you don't have enough fuel to turn around and come back to any land on the west coast. So you're committed at that point. And basically what I was told was that the tsunami will hit before we get to the red arrow. So you may take off, you may go, a couple hours out across the Pacific there and just have to turn around and come back. Well, kind of interesting, huh? So here I am, that's actually me, and I need to make an announcement to the people, and I tell them, hey folks, welcome aboard, we're going out to Honolulu today, it should be nice, the weather is 75 to 85, because it's always 75 to 85 in Honolulu, and it's just a beautiful day, except once in a while you have rain showers. But anyway, I digress. The It's going to be a nice flight, but we have this one issue. You may have heard about the earthquake in Japan. They're worried about a tsunami hitting the Honolulu airport and causing all sorts of problems. So here's what the plan is. We're gonna take off, and we're gonna head on out towards Honolulu. And dispatch will tell me before we get to a point where we have to turn around whether we can continue or not. Because before we get to the turnaround point, it will either have hit or not hit. So, okay, that's fun. We taxi out. We take off, and that is actually me in the airplane there. That is, I was flying the airplane, and a guy came up beneath me and got a nice picture that he emailed me. But we're flying on out, and I get the radio call, of course, that everything is fine, and the tsunami really actually didn't even materialize. It ended up being a non-event, which is okay. We have a lot of things like that, you know. A lot of times you have a lot of concerns, and they fortunately end up being non-events. Once in a while they're not, and those are the ones that get your attention. But this was basically a non-event. So we come in and land, and they're so happy to see us. They give us a water cannon salute. No, actually, this is my final flight out, my final takeoff out of Maui, and I got a water cannon salute on that. On my last trip, I flew back-to-back Maui flights, and I took the whole family, kids and grandkids, out there, and they had a great time. And this is my very last takeoff, and that was at this point about 9 years ago. A lot of fun. Really missed the people. The flying was great. Missed the people. And I do a little thing about retirement age here, which hopefully you find a little bit humorous. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and found it interesting.